Guys, welcome back. Um, and we can probably just get right into it. All right. Last class we started with our little chat app, but as of the moment, there's a lot of little glitches that we have left and right. For instance, like when we exceed a certain amount of messages, you can't really see anything. Um, when we're sending messages, it'd probably be nicer to have a username next to it so that you know who's sending it and who you're receiving from. So that might be the next thing that we can also add. And then probably just a bunch of little features that we're currently missing. Okay, so go ahead and open up your chat app and I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. All right, so I think the first thing that we can probably fix is trying to make it so that after you have like 10 messages or so it built up in your feed, it doesn't automatically just stop working. Because what was happening before is once you had more than like 50 messages or something, it would stop updating. Because if you look at how our code works, it only updates our screen with new messages when we get a value or when the data is changed. All right, but when the data gets too big, it doesn't actually call these for some reason. Now, if you guys remember, the challenge for last class was to take this chunk of code, all right, that we run twice the exact same way in these two places, and turn it into a procedure. Was anybody able to figure out how to do that? So Ian was not. Ian, Zaki, Sophia, how about you guys? Hannah. Was anybody able to figure that out?
I was just I was just debating on whether you should put the if statement inside there to get the fun for the procedure or no.
That's a good point. You don't need to necessarily, but it is still you might as well, like it's easier. So guys, can I ask you what was the problem with this chunk of code that didn't allow you to make it into a procedure?
The if statement.
What was wrong with the if statement?
I just couldn't figure out if I should put it inside the procedure or no.
Okay,
Just
so I have
like
to know
the
if
stuff inside it or with the
Sophia,
whole if statement.
why couldn't you make it into a procedure?
I can make it into a procedure.
No, okay, you were contemplating like the if statement thing, but did anybody else run into any problems when they tried to make it into a procedure? Yeah, Sophia?
Um, it gave me X's on some codes when I put it.
Okay, so it gave you X's on some code. Okay, now that's the main problem that I thought you guys would run into, right? That should stop you from being able to do it. So if you guys pull out a procedure block, right, and I'm going to call this something like update messages, okay, and then I put this chunk of code in here. All right, what's happening is I'm going to get an X on every single variable that I got from here. All right, because if you guys notice, right, I got values from this when block. Right? And this is no longer inside that when block. So these variables don't know where they're coming from. So one thing that we can do to fix this is use something called inputs or parameters. All right, what parameters allow you to do is they basically allow you to pass in information through the procedure and then use that information inside the procedure. So for instance, like literally any single one of these like functions that you've used here before, right? Like any of these purple ones. Let me find a purple one real quick. Like this, right? Get a value, tag and value if not there. Those are parameters, right? So you're pulling out this purple block and then those two things, you put something in there and it goes inside and then helps out in the code within there, all right? And we can make our own ones of those. So if we click on the settings icon, I want you guys to actually follow along and do this, guys, okay? Because this is just kind of an overview on how to make like a procedure out of something that has variables that are from outside. All right, so I'm going to click the setting icon and I'm going to drag in two inputs because I have two variables, right? I have tag and value. Right now they're just called X and X2, but I can rename them to something more unique, right? I'm going to call this like proc tag and proc value. All right. Now the reason I'm calling them this is just so they're so we can tell the difference in between these parameters and those parameters. All right. If I name, you could name them the same thing, but then it would be kind of confusing. Okay. And now that they're renamed, all right, I'm gonna change this get tag to get proc tag and get value to get proc value, proc value. Okay. Proc just stands for procedure. All right. And now that you have this, you basically just created you'll notice all those errors firstly disappeared, right, Sophia? And now you can use it wherever you want. So if I pull out a procedure update message, it's just going to take two inputs, right? It's going to take a tag, which you have to give it like this, and it's going to take a value, which you're going to have to give it like this. And the rest of the code is being done by this. And then you can just copy this over here, and it'll work in both places perfectly. Okay, and now if I ever need to make a change, I do it down here instead of having to do it twice up there. Okay, so I'll give you a second, try to figure that out, play around, and then once you're done, guys, go ahead and say something in the chat, or give me a thumbs up.
Wait, can you go over that for a second time again? I didn't get the settings part.
Yeah, okay, let's just make the entire thing. There you go. Okay, so you have your chunk of code, you're gonna make a procedure, just like a regular procedure. And then the different part, right, is that you're going to have to, instead of using the tag and value from the outside function here, right, you're gonna have to create your own inputs on this function. So you're gonna click the setting icon, drag two inputs under. I'm gonna name one of the inputs proc tag, okay, procedure tag, and the other one's gonna be proc value. For some reason, it didn't let me.
Proc tag and proc value.
There you go. All right, and then you can just use this procedure everywhere else by pulling it out, and you'll notice those inputs appear on the side, and you just have to substitute in these values. And it will pass them through the function or the procedure and then use them inside. Right, very cool, very nice. Okay, so remember the variables, the reason we have to use these inputs here is because a procedure can be used anywhere in our code. So there's no way for me to like go and get this tag and put it in here, right? Because that wouldn't make any sense to the code, right? Because, well, it doesn't have access to that variable where the procedure is, right? Unless it's in the function, but the procedure doesn't know ahead of where it is. Ian, what'd you say?
There's still X's on mine.
Okay, you share your screen and let's take a look.
You disabled it.
Sorry about that. It starts disabled. I just need to remember to enable it. There you go. Okay, so see how in the procedure you're using the variables tag to and value to, and then inside you're saying get tag and get value. So change that to 2. So you don't have to like drag in a new one and delete it. You can just click on the little arrow. No, like go to where it says get value and click on the part that says value, and then just select value 2. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and you should see all of them disappear. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And you sub in the other values, right? So it basically gets translated into those. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what this should do is, well, now we have just one chunk of code that we can use whenever we want, right? There's actually a couple things that are still missing. If you guys open your app right now, right, if you were just to connect, I'm not suggesting that you do, but I'm saying if you were to, what you would notice is that right off the bat, by default, you'll see absolutely no messages until you send a message. All right. The reason for this is that as of the moment, when we're only updating the messages that we have, like retrieving the messages from the server when something is changed on the server. Okay. And when you first just connect, nothing is changing on the server, so there's no point for it to go and retrieve all those messages. So what we can do instead is we can make it so that as soon as we open our screen, right away, it just goes and retrieves those messages. So if you remember, what we can do is we can click screen one and then do when screen one dot initialize. All right. You guys probably remember this. We did this with one of our previous. We did this with tic-tac-toe, I think. Yeah. We reset on screen one dot initialize. So we're basically going to say as soon as the app opens, as soon as this screen opens, let's go and retrieve those messages. So I'm going to click Cloud DB, and to retrieve the messages, you'll actually notice this. This when is called when got value. To trigger this got value, what you need to do is you need to go in here and call get value. Okay, and basically what this is going to do is it's going to like send a request to the server saying, please give me the value for this. And then when that request comes back with the information, this code will be run. Okay, so the tag for this is going to be summer chat, just like everywhere else. Okay, and value if tag not there. This is basically going to say, what should it return if it can't find any information. All right, and in our case, we just wanted to return a blank list. All right, so if we click list, we can click create empty list. So what create empty list is going to do is it's basically just going to give us like a blank slate instead of like an empty string or something. All right, because this our code here expects a list, right? But if we can't find a list, we might as well just give it an empty one so that it doesn't fill it with anything, but it doesn't give us any errors, right? It might give us an error if we weren't to do it like this. Okay, so go screen one dot initialize, get value tag not there. Okay, so now if you were to test the app out with this new little chunk of code, the app should instantly get all of the information for, well, it should instantly get all the information and all the messages that were previously sent, which is exactly what we wanted to do. But the other problem that we were having before, right, is that once you have a certain amount of messages, your data change thing stops running. So there's a way that we can go about this, and basically instead of calling this code whenever data is changed, we can actually just manually go ahead and get the value every like couple seconds or something. All right. Now, does anybody remember what it was called when we did that? We did it for our mini golf game. What did we use to make it so that like every 100 milliseconds our ball would slow down a little bit? This was last week. So I might not have been there.
Yeah, I wasn't there last week.
So Ian, Hannah, Zaki, Sophia, do you guys remember what did we use to like basically make it so that every 100 milliseconds something would happen? Do you remember what it was called? Can you find it over here?
Clock.
Hannah, what did you say?
Clock.
Clock. Yeah. So if you go under sensors, all right, if you go under sensors, there's an option here that says clock. All right, guys. So I'm back in my front end in the designer. Okay, and I'm gonna find the option that says clock. All right, and I actually want you guys to drag this clock out and pop it into our project. All right, for this guy, I don't exactly want it to run every 100 milliseconds. If it runs every 100 milliseconds, it might like break something or overload the server or something. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run it every like, how often do you guys want to receive messages? Let's say like 3 seconds or something. So that's 3,000 milliseconds. Okay, 3,000 milliseconds. Okay, and then you have both checkboxes checked. So now, guys, instead of relying on the server to tell us when there's new messages, we're basically going to manually check for new messages every 3 seconds. Right? This isn't exactly how most chat apps do it, but our server is a little messed up. But you know, CloudDB is like a free service, so you can't expect too much from it. Also, guys, one thing to keep in mind, can somebody actually click on CloudDB and tell me if the project ID and token stayed the same or if it like refreshed overnight?
What is it supposed to be, Tim?
I can send it in the chat. You can take a look.
Mine looks different than yours.
Here's the project ID. Okay, so yeah, there's some weird things going on with CloudDB occasionally. If it resets, if your token isn't the same as mine, go ahead and change it back one more time. All right, it might like reset every time you leave and come back.
It did change, yes.
No. Okay, so guys, then you have to do that step. So go ahead and copy the thing I sent into the chat, set that as the token, and then make sure your project ID is carrier pigeon app. And then we can keep messaging today. If you don't do that, it might mess some stuff up.
When you're copying the token, don't copy carrier pigeon app. Just copy that like random block of text.
Token is the first part, and then carrier pigeon app is the project name. All right. Okay, I'll give you a sec to actually copy that over and make sure everything's working there. And then we can get into the code of the clock. Okay, I think you guys all should be good with that now. CloudDB, okay, just make sure token and carrier project ID are matching. Okay, so the clock, you guys hopefully have set it to 3 seconds, all right, 3,000 milliseconds. And now if we go to the blocks, basically all we're gonna do with that is we're gonna say clock one, when clock one dot timer. We can probably just copy paste the code from screen one dot initialize. All right, so I'm just gonna copy that. Okay. And then, guys, remember, just like we do with our mini golf app, after we run any code we want with our clock, we need to re-enable the timer. So we're going to say dot timer enabled, set to true. Boom. Okay. So, guys, I'll put it right here. So clock one dot timer. All right. Copy and paste the code from screen one dot initialize, and then set clock one dot timer enabled to true. And then afterwards here, we can probably check you guys' code just to make sure everyone's caught up. So Ian says he's got it. All right, Zaki, today do you have an Android phone, or are you still going to need us to test it for you? Zaki?
I still don't have one.
Okay. All right, we can just do the same thing we did last time.
Wait, is it? Okay, wait. Okay, timer. Okay, I got it.
All right, guys. So at this point, our app should be a little bit more functional. All right, so I think it's a good time to go ahead and test it out, try to message each other a little bit, see if it actually stays working after a couple messages. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a couple of you to the breakout room with Martin, and I'm going to stay here with a couple of you and test out Zaki's app as well. All right, so breakout rooms, manually.
You go ahead and click join when it pops up.
Okay, so Martin, I'll send you, you can have. Okay, go ahead. All right, so Ian here, can you share your screen first? Okay, so you got initialize. There's your clock too. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Looks good. You can stop sharing now. And then Zaki, can you start sharing yours? And I'll go ahead and connect up, and we can test it out. Did you? Yeah, you added the clock too. Okay, and can you get the QR code for me so I can scan? Let me scan it. There you go. Okay, and you can stop sharing, I think. Okay, let me share mine. Okay, here, give it a try. Request control. Zaki? Zaki. There you go. And try it out. Type something in, click send. Click send. Did you update the QR, the token?
Yes, I did.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Ian, is yours working?
Yeah, I didn't have to change my token or anything because it was still the same.
Can you see everyone else's messages?
No.
What do you see?
I see my messages.
Okay, Zach, can you share your screen? Let's try to fix it up. Okay, request remote control. Oh, there you go. Ah, now it works. Okay, yeah, Zaki, that was the problem. Okay, here you go. So now you can see if you type something, click send, it appears at the bottom. Hello from
Is
Zach.
there supposed to be like spaces in between, like random spaces in between?
Huh? So these spaces in between, this is what happens when somebody clicks send without typing anything. If you click send without typing anything, it'll just put a blank space. And you can do that like 1,000 times, and it's really annoying. Okay. So that's actually probably the next thing that we should fix. Let's actually do that. Let me just do something first. Here we go. Okay. Share. Okay. So basically, fixing the blank message problem is actually going to be quite simple. All right. What part of our code right now, guys, is responsible for sending messages? Okay, who knows what chunk of code here would I need to play around with to fix sending messages? Any guesses? Not quite.
So when you click the send button, the button's responsible for that. But the messages is probably the cloud database.
So you said when we click the send button, right? So that would be this chunk right here. All right.
Yep.
So in here we have our cloud database append to list, right? Append value to list, and we have set text box here. So this is basically the main code that's sending messages and stuff.
Yeah.
There's probably one little thing that we can do here to make this work a little better. All we need to do to get rid of the blank message problem is only run this code if there is text in the text box. All right. So for this, guys, we're just going to use an if statement. Okay, and we're going to write if. What?
Don't spaces count as text?
Spaces do, but if you just click send on a blank text box, there's absolutely nothing there. So there's a really easy way to do this. Basically, we're going to say if not is empty text box one.text. All right, this might sound weird, but if you read this in a different order, right, you can say if text box one.text is not empty, then do this. All right, that's essentially how you could read it. Okay, it would say the same thing, but it's saying if the text box has text in it, if it's not empty, run this code. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. All right, so this should completely get rid of the problem with having blank lines of text. All right, because if there is no text, it shouldn't even try to send it.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, I got it.
All right, so guys, let's try this actually one more time. Let's go back. I'm gonna do a little resetty thing. Don't do what I'm about to do. Uh, oh, I'm using Zacky's right now. That's why. Okay, hold up. Okay. Oh, and it's clear. Okay. So, if you guys go ahead and connect now, you should be able to clear it out. So, where's mine? Here you go. Carrier pigeon. Let's type in hello. Okay, send. You see that works if I type, wow. Okay, and then if you try to click send with a blank text box, it doesn't work, which is awesome for us. Okay, this is exactly what we want.
Wait. So can we make like a thing where it says when you click send
Oh,
without
no, it's sending blank text boxes. What do you guys do? What is happening? That's not good. Hold up. If not is empty, text box one dot text, then send. Something's still wrong because blanks are working.
Probably if you put a space and then send. Some people might be trying that.
Guys, did you try to wait? Were those spaces or not? Hold up. Let's see something.
I don't think
Okay,
you can
guys,
tell.
don't send anything for a sec. Let me type. Let me type some things. Spacer. Okay, so this is the latest message. Now, if I don't type anything, click send. Okay, so it's still doing it. Let's do something basically. Instead of if not is empty, we're going to use a different thing. We're going to say just if not text box one dot text equal to blank. Okay, and we're going to try this one more time. I'm going to add spacer, and then I'm going to type nothing. I think it might have worked. Okay, so guys, try this. Instead of if not is empty, use this. All right, so if not text box one dot text is equal to blank. Okay, so guys, it looks like that works now. All right, so this check right here for the blank space. I think is empty should have worked too. Maybe there was something else going on. Okay, all right, there you go. I'm gonna clear this chat one more time, and we can try some other stuff with it. All right, I think the next thing, guys, that we can implement. Would you guys like to implement like a little username so it actually shows who's sending the message? Would you guys want to do that?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yes. Okay. In that case, we will do that now. Is someone still sending a bunch of blank spaces?
Someone didn't do the code then.
No, they might just be clicking space and then sending.
Oh.
All right. Lol who. Okay, very funny. All right, we can keep going now. So I think the username thing is the thing that we need to go next. All right. So the username thing is going to be a little bit more fun than what we've done so far. And by more fun, I mean a little more complicated. But it shouldn't be too much, and you guys should be able to handle it pretty good. But before we do go on to that, I kind of want to quickly take a look at everyone's code, make sure they have this if statement checker and everything. Actually, we'll check after the everything else, because this isn't that much. We added just like one line. Okay. So the thing that we're going to look for now is we need to find some way of storing the user's name and then using it whenever we send a message. All right, and for that, we're actually just going to be using the same text box. So when we first open the app, the text box, instead of being like a send box, it's going to be like a receiving, well, not a receiving box. It's going to be like a box that allows you to set your username. Okay, and one thing I noticed, guys, if you look on your phone right now, in the text box, what does it say in the text box when you don't type anything?
It says hint something text box.
Hint for text box 1, right? So what we can do actually is instead of just having hint for text box 1, we can have that a little bit more descriptive. All right. So by default, what I'll set the text box to, all right, is I'll set the hint, like if you click on text box in the designer, you'll notice there's a little thing here that says hint for text box 1. Instead of that, what I want to do is I want to write something like type in your username. Okay, so that'll be the default thing that it's going to say. It's going to say type in your username, and then you can type in your username, click the button to submit it, right? And then you can start chatting how you would before. Okay, one thing we could also do is make it so you can't actually see any messages until you put in your username. Do you guys want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, what we have to do is we need to make it so our list view 1 disappears when we start our app and then reappears as soon as we submit our username. All right, so for this, give me 1 second.
How do you spell user?
USER. Okay, so we're going to be putting most of the code here in button 1. But first thing we want to do, we're going to say when screen1.initialize, guys. We're going to click list view, and we're going to set list view 1 dot visible to false, because we don't want it to be visible. So that's going to make it disappear until we're going to type in our username, and then we're going to make it reappear, and you'll be able to see all the messages. Because we don't really want to be able to show everyone messages unless they're like logged in, right? So let's go back to here when it says when button 1 dot click. All right, and we're going to basically have to add a second if statement in here. That's going to check if you're logged in, And if you're not logged in, it's going to go replace it with something else. All right, before this, we're going to create a variable, all right, up here. So we're going to say initialize global username to blank. All right, this is where we're going to be storing our username, so that once you say the username once, we have it permanently saved, or not permanently, it will like saved until you close the app. We can take a look at how to permanently save it later. But we're going to create a variable called username and set it to nothing for now. Okay, well, it'll be changed when the user inputs their text. Also, guys, in case I didn't describe this well enough, what this block here, this not does, right? Not basically just gives you the opposite condition for your if statement. All right. So if I were to check this, right, text box 1 equals blank, right? If my text box had text in it, right, this would be a false condition. By adding not, it goes ahead and just flips the condition. So if it was false, it becomes true. If it was true, it becomes false. Right? So now in our case here, we're checking to see if it's not equal to blank. There's another way to do this. We could actually just use like a not equal sign, but I think this is a little more fun. Okay.
Wait, Tim.
Yep.
So I put the set block into the screen 1, right? And then it's not letting me pick list view like as a thing. It just says screen 1 for the set. Oh, okay. I think I know how to do it.
You have to go here and click list view and then find set list view 1 dot something.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so we're going to initialize global username to blank. All right, and now here's where the interesting part is going to go. In our when button 1 dot click, we're going to have to add another if, checking to see if we currently have a username. If we don't have a username, it's going to set our text box text to our new username, and then it's going to show us the list view. All right. Whereas if we already do have a username, it's just going to go ahead and call this code. All right, so we're going to be using an if-else statement. All right, so we're going to go if-else. It's going to be the second one here. Okay, the condition here is going to be if username is empty, basically. We're going to say if get username, if is empty, get username. There you go. Then we're going to be setting the username to some stuff. If it's not, then we can just call our regular code. Okay, this is for sending a message. The then here, however, though, all right, this is where we need to set our username to textbox1.text. We're going to clear our textbox1.text, and we're going to set list view 1 to .visible to true. All right, all of these things in here. So we're going to make ourselves have a username. We're going to clear the text box just like we usually do. And we're going to make the list view visible. So now you should be able to see all of the messages. One thing we can also do in here is we need to probably change the text box hint. So text box dot hint, I'm going to now set it to type in your message. All right, as opposed to type in your username. So guys, let's actually, I'm gonna try this out here. Let's refresh companion. And for me, I see nothing at first, right? And it says type in my username, and I'm gonna type in, well, you can actually see it. I'll just show you my screen here. I'll type in Tim, click send, and now all of a sudden I see all of your guys' messages, and I can send in my own. All right, there's one thing that we have missing right now, but that's already a pretty cool step. Okay, so I think at this point, this would be a good moment to share screen and take a look at everyone's code. Can I actually get like a thumbs up to see if everyone's ready to do that?
Oh,
Or if you guys need more
just
time?
give me like 30 more seconds.
Okay, so we'll give you guys like a minute, maybe like a little bit of time, and then we'll check the code, and you guys can try to run it and do that. All right, and then maybe we'll go on and break in a sec because it's almost 11.
Okay, I'm done.
All right. So guys, at this point, let's quickly do a check. All right, Zach, I'll let you test it out as well. So I'll open up the breakout room one more time, guys. Here you go. Do you see a pop-up? You're sent away. Okay. So you guys go in there and check your code with Martin. And in here, Ian, can you share your code first? Okay, so let's see what you did here. Okay, so your if statement's a little bit off. Can you put all of those sets in together? So like move all those green sets up to where the orange one is. Yeah, there you go. And now drag that purple chunk of code into the else. There you go. Yeah, with the green too. That's good. There you go. Okay. I think everything else is also pretty fine. For your screen one dot initialize, I don't know why you have an if not text box dot text equals blank. Can I do something real quick? Can you accept or approve? Okay, there you go. Okay, just don't touch for a sec. Just stop moving the mouse. I don't think we need this. What we do need. Okay, so you didn't do the invisible list view thing. Oh no, you did. No, you didn't. Okay, wait, Zaki, which one are you? There's 3 of you here.
I'm Huda because I was doing it on my phone.
Okay. All right,
And
are
there's-
you good now? In that case, okay, just check over your code, make sure everything's up, and we are gonna try it out in a sec, okay?
Okay.
Oh, Tim,
Mm-hmm.
apparently dots don't count as text.
What?
Dots, like periods and stuff.
What do you mean they don't count as text?
They don't count as text.
How? That's not, no, wait, how? You're saying if you just type like a dot, it won't send?
Yeah,
But that's, are you sure?
yeah.
Okay, let's try that in a sec. I don't think that's right. Okay, here you go. I think that's good. Ian, go ahead and test that out. Zaki, can you share your screen? Show me your big if statement. That actually looks good. Yeah, awesome. Now click connect. Give me my AI companion. Okay, scan QR code. Okay, and then let me share my screen. Okay, so Zaki, try this out. Go ahead and refresh. Okay, and so first click into the text box and type in your name. Okay, then click send. And now you should see all the messages, or it'll just send Zaki.
Wait, I just think mine's glitched because it's not letting me send anything.
It's not letting you send anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to send stuff, but it's not letting me. Put
Hey,
in my
Martin,
username.
check
That
Ian's
part
code.
worked, but
His
now
code
it's
looked all right.
Okay, so Zaki, I think you have some weird stuff going on. Can you go ahead and share your screen again?
You want to send me an Ian to actually, Ian, you can like see the breakout
Ian,
room
can
at
you
the bottom.
rejoin the breakout room?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Zaki, give me the control. Okay, so the problem was here. This isn't supposed to be text. This is supposed to be hint. And then here is the what? This is supposed. This is supposed to be in here.
Right now, I'm
Oh, this is-
testing it, and it says type in your username send. Even when I put in my username, it says type in username.
It says type in username.
Yes,
Where does it say that?
where you're supposed to. It says where right beside
Yeah,
send.
I'll take a look at yours in a second. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, Zaki, I'm pretty sure your token's actually wrong too. Can you copy the token? Can you take control? Okay, copy the token from the chat and paste it into CloudDB. So can you open the chat?
Tim, I can't see the code anymore. The thing anymore.
So what thing?
The token.
Yeah, it's right here.
No, I mean the new one. I can't see it.
Yeah, can you open the chat?
I did.
And you don't see the token in there? Oh, let me send
No.
it again. Oh, no. You see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so copy that. Okay, and now let's try it. Okay, I'll stop sharing with yours. And I'll start sharing mine. Okay, here you go. Okay, so request control.
Okay.
Okay, so just click type Zaki. Yeah, there you go. Click send. Okay, and now type in some stuff. Okay, does anybody else see these messages? Guys, hello? Anyone else?
Nope.
No? Are you guys also on a different token? Okay, anyway, it's sending here, so that just means there's some problem connecting, which we'll try to figure out later. Ian, can you share your screen? You said you had some weird problems. Okay, so can you approve that?
Okay. Yeah, so I tested it and it says type in username, even though I typed in my username. Oh, and also, yeah. What?
Hello. So Ian's code is fine.
So what
I'm
wasn't
not
working?
sure why. It's just not, his message isn't sending. It'll like set his username, but just like the second part of that doesn't work. So maybe try it on your phone and see.
Okay, all right, yeah. Ian, yours is fine. Okay, guys, so it's 11:05 right now, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick 5-minute little break. All right, so go ahead, go get some water, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, and come back at 11:10. All right, Ayan, can you quickly share your screen so I can like try to debug that real quick, and then you can also
Yeah.
your time. Okay, no, don't do the code yet. Let me just look at your code. Can I request remote control? Okay, so this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Something in here. You're saying it's just not sending messages?
Yeah. So like I type in the username, that stuff works. I can see other people's messages. I can type in, but when I click the send button, it just doesn't send my messages.
Oh, yeah, Martin, look,
I mean,
he never sets his username to anything.
no, sick.
So what's happening is that every single time you click the button, it's still your username is still empty. So it just runs this top code. And it never stops running
Oh,
this code because you never actually set your username to anything fun. So we need to take this, do this, and do this.
Nice.
All right, and that looks good. Okay, yeah, now you can just test that out, and that should be fine. And you can still go on break, so we have like 3 minutes. Okay.
okay, it works now. Thank you. Oh.
All right, guys. So it's 11:11 now. If you guys are back, can you give me like a thumbs up or say something in the chat? Sophia's here.
I'm here.
Hannah's good. Ayan's here. Ian, Zaki, how about you guys? Awesome. Okay, both of you are here too. Okay, so I think we can move on to our next step. All right, this is gonna be also pretty good. Okay, so we actually have a username now, right? But for some reason, we're not using it anymore. So what I think we need to do next is we need to take this username and actually go ahead and use it in our code somewhere. All right, so the main place that we can use it in our code is over here where we add in a message to the list of messages. All right, instead of just writing whatever you wrote, we're going to use a join, right? A triple join, actually. I'm going to click the setting icon, pull another string down, right? Make a triple join, and then I'm going to join my username. This, all right, a colon, and a space, and then your message. Okay, and this should make it a little bit nicely formatted, and you can actually see everyone's messages. This is okay, and now I think this is a good time also just to test it one more time, okay, because this is a pretty big change, and will make the app a lot more, will make it seem a lot more like an actual messaging app. All right, so here with the difference, guys, this join right here. All right, so instead of just textbox1.text, we use a join, get global username, a colon, and then textbox1.text. And that should result in something like this. So it's going to ask us for our username. I'm going to say Tim. Okay, and now whenever I type a message, hello, it's going to say Tim, hello. Okay, which looks very fun and cool. All right, and now we can actually see who messages are from. Okay, so guys, again, just this little join part right here. So somebody has a really long username. All right, so I think there's actually one more thing that we can add. Well, real quick, does anybody else have any requests for things they want to add before we polish up some features? Anyone? Hello?
Why not like something like Ian joined the chat?
Ian joined the chat. That's a good idea. Sure, we could do something like that. All right. Actually, I wanna give you guys that as a little bit of a challenge. So we already know how to send messages. All right. We have this chunk of code here that appends a message to the chat. All right. Could you do something like that? So make it so that when somebody logs in or just creates their username, append a message to the chat saying username just logged in or joined the chat, or do like some fun messages. Doesn't it? has arrived. The party's over. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to try that. Okay, I'm gonna write the challenge up here on the screen. Okay. Add join text. All right, it's not a super hard challenge. All right, you have this chunk of code, guys, already here. I'll give you a hint. You need to use this chunk of code. Okay, you just need to use it over here where you log in and then change some stuff up. All right, so that'll be your little challenge.
Mark Zuckerberg. Text, just set text box text to. Okay, if when button click do if not text box text equals blank, then if is empty get global username. Oh, sorry.
Okay, I think I got it.
Yeah, so the challenge, right? Add text when you log in, right? So when you add in your username and everything, you just add some text. So it says something
It
like,
might work. I don't know if it
Oh,
will work though.
you can try it out to see if it works. Who is Numino ultramicroscopic silica volcanic Ulysses? Who is this? Oh, sick. Hannah joined the chat. Awesome. That's good. Was your username Hannah, or is that like a glitch?
I think it was a glitch.
All right, it's still pretty cool. Take a look at your code, see if you can figure out what did that. I'm gonna actually start trying to do it myself here on the screen. So if you guys weren't able to figure it out, you can look at how I'm gonna be adding it now. All right, I'm probably just gonna copy this right here, and then there you go. Let's try it out. Refresh companion screen. Nice. Okay. All right, guys. Zaki, do you have something you want to try out?
Repeat.
Do you have any like new code you want to try out on the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you share your screen? And I'll scan it. You get the QR code up? Okay, I think you did something a little wrong there, but it's fine. Can you actually keep your screen shared? So, if you notice the way, let me show you something. So, if you notice the way I did it here, right? Do you see how I have two separate append value to lists? Right. So I have one that sends my messages, and I have another one that shows when I join the party. You did something strange. Can you share your screen again? Actually, let me share. Yeah, okay, never mind, that's fine. Never mind.
Can you just have two
To what?
strings? Two strings? Just like the global username joined?
Yes.
Or do you need the third one?
No, you don't need to have the third one. The third one, guys, you can use the join however you want. So you can either say just like username has joined the chat, which is just two, or you can do something like fancy. You can be like, here he comes, blank has joined the chat, or something like that, right? No, okay, Zaki, that's fine. Don't touch. So the problem you have here is you need to actually copy this big purple chunk and move it up into the then. Yeah, so copy that and move it underneath the set list view one dot visible true. No, up into the then. Right, up one. There you go. Okay, and now here, we need to do some editing. Can I do a little thing?
Okay.
Okay, so main thing we need to do here, when you're joining the chat, we don't need these last two. Okay, so we can delete that and delete that. Okay, and just throw these out. Okay, and then, oh, hey, oh, what just happened? Okay, and then right here, when we are sending a message, we don't need this little middle one here, so we can delete that too. Okay, so you see, when you first join, this is only going to happen once. It's going to say, Zaki, this is supposed to be something different. Zaki has joined the chat. All right, and then here, when you send a message, it's going to say Zaki, and then your message. All right, so you need two separate ones, one for when you join and one for when you send a message, not just one big one. What was happening, what would happen before, if you did what you had before, is it would do it so that every time you sent a message, it would say Zaki has joined the chat, blah, 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 whatever your message was. All right, which is not what you want. So let me share the phone now, and you can try it out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Request. Yeah, Zaki has joined the chat. Awesome, there you go. And you can type hello. And now if you click send, give it a second. Yeah, Zaki, hello. See, so that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. Okay, guys, I want to quickly check everyone's code to make sure everyone was able to get up to date. So can everyone who was in Martin's breakout room, can you quickly join that and share your screen? All right, and Ian, you can stay here and just share your screen real quick, and I'll take a look at that.
Tim, check DMs.
Okay, so guys, join the breakout room with Martin. So that's Hannah. You can go in there too, and Sophia too. Or Sophia, you can stay here. I can take a look at yours too. Okay, yeah, Ian, yours looks good. Awesome. Okay, and Zaki, I know yours works. I just took a look. Wait, Sophia, did you already get checked? No? Yes? I can't hear you. Like maybe your mic is messed up a little. You can just type it in the chat, maybe? No, you didn't get checked. Okay, can you share your screen then? I'll take a look. Okay. Party time, get username, and then blank. Why is there blank afterwards? Okay, and if you don't need that, you can remove that final string. Awesome. Okay, and then one more thing I'd suggest is, can you put a space after party time so that it doesn't squish the exclamation mark together with your username? Okay, and then I think that awesome, you're good. Yeah, just one thing. Wait, can you share your screen one more time? And just a little thing. If you notice down near the bottom here, you have an if statement just sitting all by itself, like empty. Bottom left. Yeah, right there. So I don't know what that's there for, but you can delete it. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, then you're good. Everything else looks good. Good job. Okay, Zaki, good job, you too. Yours is working very cool. Very well, very nice app. Is there anything else you guys think we should add next, or do we work on username storage? Can we make another app? What kind of app do you want to make, Sophia? Is everyone back, or is anyone still on the break? Yeah, everyone's.
I just came back right now.
Yep, everyone's back now.
Why does it feel like someone's missing? Who's not here? Okay, I guess this is everyone. All right. Okay. Yeah, so now we have a join message. Also looks very cool. I think wait, what was the thing we said here? Fortnite. Right? I don't know if we can make Fortnite in MIT App Investor.
Why would we make Fortnite?
Exactly.
Flappy Bird seems more reasonable.
Flappy Bird we could realistically make, but I wouldn't. So I think our next app will likely be something to do with some text to speech. So we could do like a little Quizlet thing if we want to make that.
I can also do Geometry Dash.
Geometry Dash wouldn't be It wouldn't be super easy. Like, keep in mind, there are places that are made to make games for phones. MIT App Inventor is not one of them. MIT App Inventor very specifically directed towards making apps. And a lot of the functionality doesn't really work for smooth, fast graphics. Okay. But what we can do, all right, so what I think we're gonna do for now is for today, we only have like half an hour-ish left. So I don't want to start a new app because we're not going to be able to go very far on it. I want to finish up this one as much as we can. And depending on how far, we can pick how far you guys want to go with this. So there's two options. Either next class, we start with a new app. Or next class, what we do is we add in like a ton of new functionality to this app by making it so that you have a contacts page and you can individually private message anyone you want.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
All right, so for instance, if it was like on your own phone, right? It's not like one group chat you have with all your contacts. You can like individually message whoever you want. So that's one thing we could do, and that would also teach us how to switch screens, which was something we haven't done yet. But if you guys if you're not interested in that, if you want to stop with the chat app, we can keep going and make like another app starting next class. Right. But for today, what I want to do to finish up is I want to actually do something with our username to store it in our memory. All right. Because if you recall, if you recall what we did right now, what we have with our username right now is when we open up our phone, let me connect something. Okay. Here you go. So I got my pigeon. All right. And you'll see every time I open my app, it's going to ask me to type in my username. All right. And click send. Right. Which is kind of lame. So what we're going to do now is make it so that, well, if you think of any other app you've used, right? For instance, like WhatsApp or your Messenger on your phone, it doesn't ask you to log in every single time. You log in once, it remembers, and it stops asking. Okay, which conveniently we can do with MIT App Inventor also. So we're going to make it so that we have like a database on our phone that we're going to be using to store that information. All right, so to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the designer. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a local database. So the username isn't going to be stored on the cloud. It's going to be stored on your phone. Okay, and then we'll like add a button to reset it later because a lot of people like mistype stuff there. Okay, so if you go on the left side and you go down to storage, you'll notice there's a couple options here. There's CloudDB, File, TinyDB, and TinyWebDB. We're going to be using TinyDB. Okay, TinyDB is local, so it's going to be on your phone, and it's going to allow you to store whatever you want. Okay, so drag that into your app. It's also an invisible component, so it's just going to come to the bottom here, and now we have two databases and a clock. Okay, with TinyDB on the right side here, you'll notice there is no token, there is no names or project ID, there is no what else did it have here? A Redis server, a Redis port. It doesn't have any of that because it's on your phone. Okay, everything that's local on your phone is a lot simpler to deal with, especially for like storage and stuff, than having it stored on the cloud. So we just have one little name here, and this doesn't even matter. You don't have to make sure it's the same as mine, but I think by default it will be TinyDB1, right? Now let's go to blocks. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to make it so that when we set our username, we're going to set the variable username to our username, and we're also going to set our database to store that new username. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is make it so that when we start our app, it's going to check if we already have an existing username in our database. All right, and if it is there, then it's going to set the username and instantly unlock the app. Okay, so for this, I'm going to go down here and click TinyDB, and I'm going to store value under a tag. Okay, like this. I'm going to put this right underneath set global username. Okay, and I'm just going to say store the value under the tag username. Okay, it doesn't matter what the tag is really. It doesn't even have to be the same as mine. This is just, you're essentially creating a variable that's going to be permanently stored on your device, on your phone. Okay, tag username. And then the value to store for me is going to be a, what is it? Yeah, username. So I'm going to say get username, get global username. Okay, so this right here just permanently saved your username. I don't know if this will actually work unless you install the app on your phone. I think it should work with the AI companion, but it might be a little bit glitchy in terms of how it works. So it'll be a little different. Okay, but here, this is permanently going to store it on our phone. All right, the next part, all right, now that we have it, so actually I'll give you a second to get this done, okay? I don't want to rush you guys too much. Don't want to make you fall behind.
Okay, got it.
So permanently stored. All right, now let's have this value used, okay? Because it doesn't help us if we're storing the value and then not using it, right? We want to be using the value, storing it, right? And well, where we're going to use it is when we first open the app. So first opening the app is under screen1.initialize, this fun guy right here. And for this, we're going to have to do a couple fun things. How do you get TinyDB1? Okay, Sophia, in the designer, you're going to go under storage and drag TinyDB1 into your file. Okay, is that good? Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the first thing we're going to do when we initialize our screen is we're going to set our username to what our database username is. All right, and you'll see why this works. So we're going to go set global username to tinydb.getValue for tag. And the value, we're going to get the value for the tag, I think it's just username, yeah. Username. Same tag we used up here for storage. Okay, and you'll notice here it says value if tag not there. So it's going to say if there is nothing stored under my username, if this is the first time I'm logging in, right, it'll give me the value that's just a blank string. Okay, you can set this to something different, but I'm just going to use the blank. Well, I mean, like, you're allowed to set this to something different, but we should just use a blank string. All right, because what this will do is it's going to say if we've never logged in, set global username to blank string. Right, then the rest of the code here, we're going to have to do another little if statement here. Okay, we're basically only going to clear our list view if we don't have a username. All right, so this is going to go in an if statement. We're going to say something like if, like this. Okay, if username if is empty global username, then set list view one dot visible to false. Okay, and we're still gonna do this anyway. All right, we're not gonna put an else here. So basically we're just saying that if we're not logged in, if we don't have a username, then let's hide the list view. And then it's gonna be as if everything we had before, right? They're gonna go up here and they're gonna type in their username. And since it's an empty username, they're gonna go do all of this fun code. Okay, but then next time they come to the app, it's already stored. So this step will be skipped, and they'll just go straight into chatting with their friends.
But then how do you change the username?
So that's the next thing. Right now, you can't change the username, all right, unless you like uninstall and reinstall the app. What we can do is we can fix that by using, we can add like another button to our app, right? We can add a button somewhere that says like change username or like log out, okay, something like that. And then when we press that button, all it's going to do is like reinitialize our screen. Is that like a refresh screen thing? Hold up. Yeah, so then when we click on that, basically all it's going to do is it's going to set our username to a blank thing, all right? And then it's going to we'll set everything back to how it should be when you're logged out, right? Or we can even refresh the screen, which would also work, but that's a little bit more complicated. Okay, so here's the main chunk. So set global username to call tinydb.getValue, and then if statement here. Okay, so let me do a little demo of what this should technically look like. When you log in, you're gonna see your username. It's gonna say, I'm gonna type Tim. All right, party's over, Tim's here, right? But did it? Yeah, okay. But now here's the thing, right? Before, when I would refresh companion screen, what would happen is, let me try to do that a little quicker. Is it would say type in your username, which first it does say type in your username instead of type in a message, but it doesn't ask me to actually like type in anything, because now if I just start typing hello there, click send, it'll just send right away. See? So the username storage is working. That's maybe actually one more thing that we could do. We'll food. That's fine. That's not really matter. That matters a little. Okay. Yeah. Right now, just as a side effect of our app, it says type in your username here, even though I'm typing in my messages. So what we can do is we can just go up here and set. I'm gonna go to the designer actually. I'm just gonna set the text box default hint to type in your message. And then in here, I'm gonna say, if you're not logged in, set the text box hint.
What did you just do?
I'll show you guys one more time. Just wait. Set the text box hint to type in your username. Okay. So what was happening before, right, is it was asking me to type in my username, even though I was already logged in, because we never assigned our username. Right. So what I did is I went to the designer and I set the default hint. So for text box 1, I said that I set the hint to type in your message. Okay, instead of typing your username. So now it says type in your message. All right, and now if you go to blocks, over here, I also added a new little chunk that said, if you're not logged in, if your username is empty, then set textbox1.hint to type in your username, because now you're actually going to be trying to log in, right? Which is the time for that. Okay, that's not the
What
biggest
did you
thing.
do for the blocks?
Just this chunk right here, this line. Let me zoom in.
Set text box.
One.hint to type in your username, and it's inside the if statement. Okay, this isn't the most important thing, so don't really worry about it too much if you don't get it. It's just like a little quality of life thing that makes things a little cleaner and more refined.
What is it? Oh, it's text.
Okay, I'm done.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think now's probably also a good time to quickly check code because we just added a lot of random stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. I think everyone go ahead and join the breakout room with Martin. And we can go ahead and check everyone's code. Okay, and then in this meeting, Ian, you can share your screen real quick and we can take a look at that. Okay, so guys, join the breakout room with Martin. And store value. Oh, okay, so here's the problem. Can you put the set global username above call tinydb?
This one?
No. In your button click area.
This
Go
thing?
down in your button click. Yeah. So you're saying call tinydb dot store value. You're storing your username before you set your username to what it should be. So you need to move that orange block above the purple block.
Ah, what's happening?
It like takes it all with it.
Ah,
Just click. Okay, that's fine. Above purple. Okay, there you go. And now, no, the red. That's in the wrong place. That should go underneath the first purple one. There you go. The first
there?
purple one, underneath the first purple block. Up.
Like that?
No, okay. No. Hold up. Can you click Control C a couple times? Control Z.
Control Z.
Control Z should undo. Do you one more time? Okay, now take. No. Okay. Too many times. Okay, hold. Let me just.
Approved.
Okay. So yes. So this chunk. All right. Set global username needs to go up here above the purple block. And the
Okay.
rest of this needs to go below the purple block right there.
Oh.
Okay, that's how it was before. Okay, the rest looks fine. You got your password hint here, all of that good stuff. That's good. Okay, you can test it out. Now, Zaki, can you share your screen?
Okay.
Awesome, that looks good. Can you move up to your button click, the big chunk? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Looks good. Wait, can you scroll back down to the screen one.initialize real quick? Yeah, okay. Awesome, everything looks good. So Zaki, I don't think we really need to test right now because we didn't really add anything that will have any noticeable changes. In a second, I want to add a reset button. All right, so we'll test right after that. Okay, Zaki? And are the rest coming too?
No, it's just me.
Just you? Did you get your code checked yet?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome, good job.
The food's almost ready. Mom over there. Mom over there. Mom over there. Mom.
Okay, Martin should be back here in a second with everyone else, and we can talk about the homework because I don't think we have enough time right now for the reset button completely. So you guys, do you have any other ideas for anything that you'd like to add to this chat app, or do you think we should start working on another app next class?
Just like the private contacts list thing.
You want to do the contacts thing?
Yeah.
Contacts thing is very complicated, so that would probably take the next 2 classes. So we'd just be doing that for the rest of the time.
Oh, okay.
Because with contacts, how that works is we're gonna have to change a lot of the code for being able to privately message everyone, because you're gonna be using like um, individual tags for each conversation.
I just want to know how to reset your username.
You want to know how to reset the username? Ba-da-bum. Okay, we have to wait for the rest to come back. So we can quickly try to talk about the homework and maybe add a little bit of stuff. Okay, I think everyone is back.
Everyone's
Yeah,
back.
awesome.
Nice.
All right, so we have basically not enough time to really add anything else right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the homework for next class, and what we're going to do next class. So I think we can just add one more thing to our app, and then we'll talk about if you guys want to continue with the chat app or try to do something new. The main thing for the chat app that we're going to try to add today or tomorrow and for homework is try to make it so that when you are using your app, right, once you set your username once, you can do something like log out or change your username or something like that. Okay? So what I want you guys to do, I'll write it up the homework. It's a couple steps. All right, I'll try to break it down into some steps. Okay? Create a new button. Put it somewhere nice on the screen. Okay? Make it so the button resets your username, and then refresh the screen. All right. So one of these things you probably have never done before. So refreshing the screen is something that we have never done. And I'll show you guys how we can do that right now. So to refresh your screen, what you can do is you can click on Control. Okay. And then open another screen name. Okay. Let me actually try this right now. So I'm just gonna make it so that when I click the button, it'll do this. Okay, open another screen name, and my screen name will be. Okay, so guys, what I'm doing right now is this is a way to open up screens, okay, or even switch screens in between apps. We have never covered switching screens, but you can use this to refresh your screen as well. So if you look in the top left corner of your screen or of your computer, you can see the word screen one, capital S, and not a capital one, but like the number one, right? And if you type that here, it should open this screen when you click that button. So let me actually try this out. Reset connection, AI companion. All right, and you should see that when I press the button, my screen should refresh. Right now, the reason that we're refreshing our screen is that is actually going to save a lot of coding for us. All right. So let's take a look at this. If I click send, it should refresh the screen. See, I can't tell if it's refreshing or not because it's going very quickly. Okay, so you can play around with that, guys, to try to do your resetting username. All right. But the main thing that I want you guys to do is try to at least make it so that when you press the button, it'll set both your username to blank and the TinyDB value to blank. All right. If you click on TinyDB, there's a couple things you can do. You can actually clear a tag to completely delete your username from the database. Okay, you can click clear all to just delete everything, right? Or you can run store value, and then instead of storing your username, you can store just a blank tag under that, okay? Or a blank value under your tag. So challenge numero uno, all right, number one, I want you guys to at least make a button, Okay, challenge two, try to reset username. Challenge three, if you can, reset the screen. All right, so that's the order of your guys' challenges for the homework. All right, in that case, I think we just checked all of your code and everyone seemed to be doing great. So we'll see you guys next class and we'll figure out how to actually implement this together. All right, but try to go through these steps of homework, and these videos will be uploaded as well at the link we sent you guys as parents. So if you need to have a refresher or you forgot how to do something, you can take a look at the recordings and see how we did that there. Okay, so it's 12:01 now. You guys are free to go.
Bye.
See you
Thank
next
you.
class.
So bye, everyone.